Right. Quick show of hands, maybe. Who knows Simpego? Hey, yeah, very good. Who's from the insurance industry? Okay. Who works on the AWS? Yay. Right. Insurance in the cloud. I'm not going to give you the blueprint like Kevin did on how you do that. It's going to be a change of gear to what you've shown. So I'm CEO, CTO at Simpego. CEO is a regulated role that every insurer has. It's Chief Underwriting Officer, so I'm responsible for pricing, underwriting risks, and these kind of things. And the CTO, I guess, is known what the role means. So very briefly, I'll talk about Simpego. With only insurance in Switzerland that is not older than 100 years. So you see, we've been, we saw the light. We came to the world in 2018. Basically, we went live with our product. Then we grew relatively quickly through the years, and we haven't yet reached our 10-year anniversary, but we already have legacy infrastructure and code and shit that we already need to clean up. So it's not as bad as at the big insurance companies, but it's adding up, and surprisingly quickly. As you can see, we're relatively small, and we really cover the whole product or infrastructure that you need as an insurance. So we have a service center where you can call us. We have a whole claims department. We have our own licenses to actually write the risks. We do really everything ourselves, and this we do with the 68 FTEs. All of them together, they speak 16 languages. We have one guy that speaks about 10 languages, so it's hard to balance. Yes. And the cool thing is we have our own platform. Okay, so our Simpego runs on our own insurance backend platform. We call it SIP, Simpego Insurance Platform, and it runs on Kubernetes with the support of Copilot, basically. I apologize. All the slides are in German, most of them. I'll come to that later, why that is the case. We live here in Altstetten, not too far away. And so most of our presentations are usually in German. So obviously, with the fastest growing insurtech in Switzerland, we have a very experienced team that leads the whole company. And the most interesting thing is we're completely in the cloud. It's really all our infrastructure, everything runs in the cloud, except one tiny little village, which is in my little garden, which is for the data science and automation part, which is on my side, and I'll come to that later on. So if you would go to our homepage, simpego.ch, you would see that we have a whole bunch of insurance products that you can buy. And considering that we're only 10 years old, or not even, we managed to launch one new product every year. Okay, and usually in a big company, that takes only one product takes several years to actually get to the start. And this is sort of really putting everything in our platform and getting the whole life cycle for the customer's life. Our main product is car insurance. It's the biggest part of our portfolio. But it's sort of also there we have some sort of diversification. We do old-timers. We do flex drive, which is maybe cool for techies because it's an app solution which tracks how you drive. Well, the caveat is you're being tracked depending on how you feel about how well you drive. Okay. What's also coming more and more into Switzerland is well known in the Nordics a bit more, sort of the home sort of pet insurance. You can basically get an insurance for if your pet gets sick or has an accident, then it's covered with us. Okay, so it's relatively broad. We almost covered. Soon we've covered every non-life product that we know about. What's special about Simpego is sort of that we can, thanks to the modern platform, right? We can sort of selectively use the whole the Wertschöpfungskette. Okay, so it's sort of where you extract the value along the chain of the product. Okay, so we're not only the risk carrier. We can also share that. We can say we don't want to carry the risk. This can be done by a reinsurance company. We do the product and the pricing. If you want, you can do this as well, and we just provide our platform, and you can do it there. You can do the administration in the back end. We do the invoicing. We do credit cards. We have a claims department where you manage all the claims, and everything can be exchanged with a partnership. Okay, we can do everything in white label completely, and this is what makes Simpego in the end unique. Okay, for every partnership we can just go there and tell, well, what do you need? We can provide it. Okay, so this is really our main USP, and it helps us to position a bit in the Swiss market, because it's really, there are many big players, and the market is really, it's really a hard market to get into it. So with the technology we obviously a lot of APIs. Yes, we use machine learning, AI. We are very quickly to get to the market. I've told you before, to create a new product, I'll show you in the next slide. It takes us about 3 months to get from let's do something to the start, if the product is well defined. Okay, yes. We've had partners where it took the product to get into our platform about 2 months, and then we had another 3 months to decide in the white labeling where should we put exactly the label of that partner company, and the marketing department was very picky about every millimeter. Yes, I think what's really important as a company, to be that fast, you need a certain culture. So you need to be very open on how you communicate internally and how to get things going. We usually call it a bit, well, technology enables while culture actually empowers. Okay, it's nice to have great technology, but if you cannot use it that quickly or efficiently, you're just slow and sluggish. And the technology allows us to have a very transferable infrastructure in the end. I mean, it's everything, Terraform, OpenTofu. In theory, you could just deploy it anywhere you want and get going as well. Okay, so this is one of the cases we are striving for, that we actually could sell our software to other insurance companies. Yeah, so here's the reason why everything's in German. I thought it's a great idea. We have AI, and I have Copilot, and I have PowerPoint. These things must go well together. So I was very brave. So I told Copilot, hey, look, I have this PowerPoint, please translate it to English. There you go. First, it prompted me, well, I'll write you a Python script. I was like, really? Okay, blah, blah, blah. And then, okay, there you go. And I was like, yeah. It's even worse, right? Here you see at least it's English. The first version was like, it was the same, just everything still in German. Okay? So, yeah, AI not quite there yet, but...
Nobody passed the tests.
Yes. So, now we come to the little village a bit more, and now we see, okay, I have added proper techie icons. I think it's really good. Particularly proud of my AI-generated image of Pang. Stands for Process Automation Engine. We see it later. It's just a Linux server in a closet in Altstetten. No, what I think, I mean, yes, Insurance is a tough business, yes, but what actually also distinguishes us besides being fast is we have a particular way of how we approach data. And I think having the cloud infrastructure and sort of just readily available because everything is there, we have an advantage that others don't have. We don't have data silos or departments that don't talk to each other. So we're very efficient. And the nice thing is we have everything serverless. So we don't need big clusters that are constantly running, just generating heat. We actually just use the data when we need it. I mean, our processes, yes, are cron jobs, I admit it. But they run once or twice a day. Okay, the rest of the day, I don't care. I'm happy when they do nothing. And however, this infrastructure of having everything sort of at one point enables us sort of to have this single source of truth, which is really tricky. I mean, if you work in a big company, you know it. If you're in a bank or in insurance, it's really every department has different definitions of what which figure means, and that way we can ensure that everything is always the same. It's also nice because the data sort of scales automatically on Kubernetes, right? This is particularly important for our infrastructure. You might be surprised how much traffic we get as an unknown insurance company. It's not customers, it's bots that are coming, more. Sort of about, 2/3 of the traffic on our homepage is just bots, not real customers. And well, my favorite example still is we had one day, we had 100,000 requests for our service. Usually we have about 10,000 if on a big day. And yeah, scales up, scales down, all fine. You get a little bump in the bill. It's all good. Yeah, no, you can control these kind of things. Yes, another important thing is, yes, we're FINMA-approved, so the Finanzmarktaufsicht, we're regulated completely, so everything is very well controlled. And yes, I've mentioned it before, yes, we can do disaster recoveries, we can do migrations with our code. It's sort of very efficient. I'm still debating about disaster recovery from one infrastructure to another infrastructure, what would be the actual scenario be, but that's something I have with my risk officer, because if AWS is down, more things than just our Simpego insurance platform is down. But that's another story. So a last thing maybe, right? So why are we that quick? Is because usually we approach product implementation in a way that we say, well, we define the API. It's like defining a contract, and partners build from either side to it. It's not that one guy builds, this is now the contracts, and then the other guy comes, and then sort of you start initially there, and then both parties or all three parties build towards the same goal. And I think this is one of the things that makes us that efficient as well, because we have a lot of APIs that you can just connect to. Yeah, how much time do I still have? You tell me if I'm overrunning.
No, it's fine.
This is a bit the whole thing about I've talked about before. It's a bit a different view on the whole thing, right? You need to sort of get your data together in order to be efficient afterwards. Okay, it's nice to have automation and stuff, but you need to have it in one place because you need to know sort of live what is happening in order to automate things. I'm not even sure if we have a lake house or data lake, or if it's still a data warehouse. In the end, we have one place, the AWS, S3, RDS, etc., where we have the storage, and we have one point to collect everything and then process it from there. So this is what a data infrastructure looks like. It's probably this is the most technical slide for you guys. So again, you see the Pang here at the bottom. I said it's a Linux server. We run R, Python. Yes, we connect to SharePoint, and you see how everything actually sort of connects through the AWS to digest information from our platform to the automation engine, or from there actually towards our front and back end system. Again, the interaction always happens via these well-defined GraphQL, REST APIs, etc. Yes, so this is hard, right? You guys think that this is the normal thing, but if you think about having an insurance that is 100 years old, that has an infrastructure that is 30 years old, this is the dream for every insurance company to live in, and it's really nice actually to work with such an efficient infrastructure. And this is the last slide, I think. Yes. One thing that makes us special. This is more a culture slide, maybe, and it's about actuaries. Actuaries are the ones that make prices for your product. So these are the guys that define how much you pay for a car insurance, for example. And it's a bit a matter of the mindset, right? In the big companies, you end up with, okay, this is my little garden. Here I do just pricing. So my current pricing guy, he came from a big company, and all he was doing was car insurance for the full year, okay? With Simpego, you do 5 different tariffs per year, at least. You do implementations in collaboration with the IT department, because our infrastructure for pricing is completely different. You need to do data science, because we don't do classical insurance. We use machine learning models. That are quite a bit beyond just GLMs. We even start to use LLMs in the pre-processing of the data. And you need to have some sort of a software engineering mindset, because you actually are responsible for what the price, again, the pricing engine is just a REST API. Again, you have one contract, and you need to both think, how do you connect to each other, especially once you start making changes or implement new products. Okay, so the role spectrum is much broader than in a big company, and this helps you much quicker to understand what are the needs and problems that someone else has in your company. And I think it's key actually to become efficient and fast when you implement something new. So yeah, this is maybe for me one of the big things. Yes, if you work at Simpego, you have a very broad spectrum of things that you need to cover, and you need to be ready for this, and then you can do a lot of stuff very efficiently. And I think it's rather unique. At the same time, yes, you can also say, well, we're just underhired and have not enough people to cover everything. It's two sides of the same medal, I guess. Yeah, so that's a bit about Simpego, our culture, our approach, a bit about the technology. Yes. Buy an insurance. No.